Hey everyone, I hope you all had a beautiful Monday. Um, Today's energy for the Twin Flame Collective has really been interesting. I have to say that I've been channeling quite a bit of stubborn energy coming from the Divine Masculines in the collective. And I definitely want to take a deeper look into that today and kind of see what's coming through here, how the Divine Feminine counterparts are responding to this, or kind of what's triggering it, what that's all about. So, as I begin to shuffle, you can set your own intentions for this reading, either out loud or in the comments, in your mind, however it feels good to you. And I'll try to get a couple of cards as we begin here. I'm kind of being pulled both to this, the Gilded Tarot Royale deck, and the Energy Oracle cards. So I'm wondering if maybe Spirit wants me to go in a specific order here. I'll try with the Energy Oracle cards first, since the tarot seems to be a little silent right now. And I do feel that this stubbornness has something to do with communication. I feel like it is a stubborn resistance that is going on for the Divine Masculines. There we go. Okay. So the first card that came out was the number 46 card. So angel numbers 444, as yesterday was the 4/4 angel portal for April 4th, and also the number 666 for family. In angel numbers, it has to do with family connections, came out here. So the Thinking Man card is the card that I most strongly associate with a Divine Masculine kind of being stuck in his ego mind, kind of in 3D physical grounded thinking. And this makes a lot of sense with respect to that stubbornness. I'm really being drawn to the object that this man is holding in his hand, and he is kind of assessing and looking at. He seems curious about, looks like he wants to interact with this object in some way, but he doesn't quite know how. There's like a curiosity about him, but there's also a hesitancy to really either bring it close to him or, to hold it with both hands. And what I feel like this object in his hand represents is communication with his Divine Feminine. So what I'm intuitively picking up on here is that there is a Divine Masculine in the collective. Now, I do feel like the message that is about to come through here might be pretty hyper specific. So it may or may not resonate for everybody here. Please do use your intuition to know whether it's for you or not. And these hyper-specific messages do come through based on your energetic presence here on this channel as well. So as I always say for my subscribers and those who like my videos, you're energetically signaling your presence to me, and that's what allows me to channel this, okay? So I do feel like this Divine Masculine is really strongly fighting an internal battle within his own mind. As I'm tapping into his energy, I'm feeling a strong urge, like a literal pull on my throat chakra, that indicates to me that he is dying to have a conversation about how he truly feels with his feminine. And I feel like this masculine was never expressive to begin with, and it may be that he's not, the best at communication. He may not feel like he's the best at expressing himself and his feelings. And perhaps that was a point of contention between him and his Divine Feminine counterpart prior to the 3D physical disconnect, that now when this masculine is having this strong urge to express himself, he's feeling as though his Divine Feminine might not believe him, or that she just may be so hurt and, disheartened by his treatment of her, or his communication style with her, or lack thereof, is what I'm intuitively feeling, that she may not even believe him, she may not forgive him, and she may kind of, I just heard Spirit say, turn her back on me. So it could be that this divine masculine is thinking that this divine feminine will just turn her face away from him if he does approach her now, because there is a strong disparity or disconnect between what he is wanting to express now and what he had the feminine believe in the past. I do feel like this has something to do with inner child and family wounds as well, like generational wounds, perhaps from his parents or generations before his parents, where communication and relationships were not necessarily the healthiest. Maybe they didn't have the tools or skills for that. And this carried over into this divine masculine. So he truly has a difficult time with that. And he's trying to learn at this age, like, into his adult years now, how to properly communicate and express himself. And I am hearing childhood trauma. I'm hearing spirit say childhood trauma. So it could be that this divine masculine had some trauma around expressing himself that was inflicted by family. Mainly, I am picking up on parental figures. So it could be a father figure that may have inflicted those communication wounds onto this divine masculine that does not allow him to fully and openly express himself. The second card to come out here was the Sacral Chakra. So this doesn't only have to do with sensual delights, it also has to do with, just finding joy and pleasure in life. And I feel like there is a sense of punishment that this divine masculine may have had to endure as a child for enjoying himself in certain ways that quote unquote may or may not have been approved by his parental figures, by his caretakers. So there's definitely a sacral chakra block here that causes this divine masculine to really hold back and resist almost stubbornly. Now it's all making sense where this stubborn energy was coming from, that he's learned to be stubborn with himself regarding the pleasures of life, what gives him happiness and joy, that he purposely holds back from it. And I have to say, I'm sensing some incredible willpower in this divine masculine whose energy I'm connecting with. But it's unfortunate that it came from such deep childhood wounds here. The next card to fly out is the woman holding a coin card here. So I just heard a divine masculine step in to say, my mother is the only one who gave me value. So this woman holding a coin in this instance is very symbolic or indicative of the mother figure of this divine masculine. And this coin is the self-worth that this masculine was given through his mother figure. So it seems as though this divine masculine learned all he knows about his self-worth simply through his mother, because what I'm picking up is his father figure did not support him in that sense. So immediately I heard Spirit say walking away from unhealthy patterns. So this walking away card in the upright position flew out of the deck here. This divine masculine is learning now to walk away from what does not serve him, and to close the gate behind him, because I do strongly sense some codependent, addictive behavioral patterns here as I'm tapping into this energy. There is definitely a sense of depressiveness, of darkness. I do feel like this divine masculine drinks a lot in order to kind of suppress the pain that he's feeling inside, in order to help himself move past those inner childhood wounds here. So there is definitely a lot of internal healing that has to take place for this masculine. But the next card that came out is action in the upright position, and this is the number 17 card. The number 17 itself may be significant here. It could be somebody's age. It could be the age at which you met your twin flame if you are resonating with this reading. Or you may be seeing the angel number 1717 recently if you are resonating with this reading. But the action card here is really indicating that this divine masculine is now stepping out from just his emotional reactiveness, and he's learning to consciously respond to situations. This is part of his growth, healing, and ascension process, is he's really learning how to respond rather than react. However, because he is still relatively new to this practice, he doesn't quite know how to stay on track all the time. And I don't feel like this divine masculine has really any support system around this, because everybody who would be his support system is entrenched in these very unhealthy patterns themselves. So adjacent possibilities here is this card, the next card that came out. And I feel as though this divine masculine is really fearing the different possibilities that could take place with his divine feminine counterpart if he does not take action soon here. So I'm really sensing that this masculine could be fearing that his feminine will reject him, that she will move on with somebody else, that, you know, just he's afraid of his hopes and dreams for his future with his divine feminine just being shattered. And that is really what I'm picking up on here. And what I heard with this card when it flew out initially, immediately, was that he is afraid of his family wounds playing out again in his connection with the divine feminine. He is really afraid of repeating those old patterns. Now, I just heard a divine masculine step in to say happily ever after. So I do believe that this masculine truly views his feminine as his happily ever after. And he loves her truly unconditionally, that he wishes her happiness whether they are together or not. But at the same time, he knows that his happiness only lies with her, and he's terrified of this adjacent possibility here that his divine feminine could wind up not choosing him. But what he's learning here is unconditional love also for himself. He is learning that self-acceptance, the skill that he never truly had before in life. As I spoke on earlier, there are heavy codependent patterns that I'm picking up on energetically, definitely present here. And this divine masculine, as he's slowly metamorphosizing, I'm being shown butterflies in my third eye here, like butterflies breaking out of their cocoons. So I do feel like this divine masculine internally feels as though he is in that stage. And this is a very conscious thought for this masculine, as far as I can tell when I'm tapping in, that he is very consciously thinking that he is like a butterfly breaking out of this cocoon, that he's learning how to survive, and it's such a difficult process. Some days he feels like he can't do it, but he knows that he needs a strategy. And this strategy is exactly what the universe is guiding him to. Day by day, he is breaking out of this cocoon. Some days he makes more progress than others, but the fact remains that he is making progress. And that is something that he should definitely be proud of. And I do feel like sooner or later, this divine masculine will realize that his divine feminine desires the same thing that he does. That she truly does want a connection with him, that she is not looking to reject him at all. As I'm tapping into their energies, this is also a very, very heavily mirrored connection. And I do feel like that there was a third-party influence here that potentially caused the 3D physical disconnect between these two counterparts. And I feel like this divine masculine is now worried that he may have to face the same heartache as the feminine had to face when she discovered the third party situation, because he is seeing that a lot of what he put this feminine through prior to the physical disconnect is things that he had to go through during this no contact separation phase. He is seeing that he's actually being given a lot of relatable energies here. So he is very, very afraid of having to face what the feminine faced, because he does not feel like he will be able to handle that. So the next card here is the Envy card. And with this, immediately I heard Spirit say, envy anyone who has peace of mind, because this divine masculine is so severely lacking peace of mind. He is so severely lacking any internal balance here, and that is what is keeping him stuck in this mode of indecision. This is extremely synchronistic with what we spoke on earlier with this thinking man card and that stubborn energy, that this divine masculine knows what he wants to do. There is absolutely no doubt that he knows what he wants to do and he knows what he needs to do, but his 3D ego mind is not letting him step forward out of that due to these childhood wounds and these codependent patterns that he has been so ingrained in for generations that it's so difficult for him to break out of. I do sense there is a significant fluctuation in this divine masculine's energy, which is why deciphering any sort of a timeline for this masculine is extremely tricky. It's very difficult because as I'm tapping in and I'm kind of going back into the history of this energy, I'm feeling that there's been so many days where he has literally picked up his phone to type up a text or to call his feminine, and then he restrained himself. So there's this fast moving push to his energy, but then his stubbornness kind of causes him to hold himself back and really resist that. And it's almost like a form of self-punishment. It almost feels like a form of self-torture here, that he really mortifies himself when it comes to things that he wants, when it comes to moves that he desires to make. And that is a very interesting energy, because it's something that started from childhood and is like carrying over into this divine masculine's adult life. So, but here we have the Sun card. So there is also a lot of positive energy that this divine masculine picks up on directly from his divine feminine. And I'm specifically being drawn to this feminine figure in this picture here, who is sitting in this pond type thing. It looks more like a bowl actually, but I think it's supposed to be a pond. And this to me right now definitely represents the divine feminine shedding positive energy and light into the life of her masculine from her higher self level. I see that her energy truly illuminates him. Like in my third eye, I'm being shown his aura just lighting up as the rays of light from the feminine kind of shed over him. And he is, kind of given this glow, this protective glow around him. And I just heard Spirit say, I never run out of hope because of you. So this divine feminine's energy really, really lends this masculine the support that he needs to get through these really dark times of his life, because the only thing he feels, if that's positive, is hope when he connects with his divine feminine's energy, when he looks back at the past, at the times that they shared together, at the love that this divine feminine offered him. How synchronistic, that when she was actively offering her heart to him, those memories give him peace, but at the same time they weigh his heart down. Like, I can really feel that heaviness, that stoniness in my heart chakra when I tap into that energy, because the divine masculine was not overtly receptive to it. Now, internally, it is something that he desired, he wanted, and any time when these two counterparts were in physical contact, or in contact in the physical 3D is what I mean to say, then, you know, anytime she would pull her energy back, this divine masculine would kind of go crazy and go into a chaser mode, like, you know, do you still have the same feelings for me? Will you still accept me or love me the way that you did? There was a very strong chaser energy that would come through from him in those moments. But as soon as the feminine kind of gave in to him again, he would once again draw back and kind of become cold. And that would be like the on and off, out of balance energy in this connection. So now that the divine feminine is no longer present in this masculine's life in the physical 3D, this masculine doesn't know what else to do other than to just look back on those old memories, you know, and that gives him peace. But at the same time, he's thinking, I need her back. But this time he knows that he's not going to withdraw and become cold if the divine feminine does give her love to him again. However, he does realize that this is a fear that this feminine will definitely have in the back of her mind, because this was a pattern. And so it only is fair to say that she was conditioned into believing that this is what would happen every time she would open her heart and be receptive to love from him. However, victory is in the cards for these counterparts. I do feel that the divine feminine is extremely open to giving this divine masculine a second chance. I don't doubt that one bit. And for whatever reason, the fall season is standing out to me here. So it could be that these counterparts reconnect in the fall time. Specifically, Libra season is like really standing out to me. So September through October especially is, I think, a very significant time for this connection that I am connecting with. Another thing that is holding this masculine back is a sense of not being able to provide the feminine with the financial stability that he believes she wants from him. When I'm tapping into the divine feminine energy, I do really feel like the feminine is somebody who comes across as very financially stable, very high class, very you know, just kind of well secured and stable in a financial arena, in a career arena, in this divine masculine's mind. Like, this is how he sees her. And when he looks at himself, he sees financial constraints. Like, he doesn't have the stability that he desires to have at this point. He's not happy with the way that his career is going. He really, really wants to make big changes in his life. He wants to own a home that he could call home with the divine feminine. And he is very heavily wanting to create a family with this divine feminine. Like, I really strongly sense daydreams about children and family trips. And, you know, just raising a beautiful family and living a luxurious life together. But that is another thing that is really holding him back here. So he is learning to appreciate the love that this divine feminine was giving him on a whole other level. He is learning to appreciate what he once had that he was so cold towards, and that he didn't really know how to value until it left his life. What else do we need to know, Spirit? First chakra, yes, very synchronistic. This divine masculine's root chakra is in the process of strengthening, because this is exactly what will allow him to walk away from these codependent patterns, situations, relationships, and people that no longer serve him. This is what will allow him to really manifest his goals into the 3D reality. So this root chakra strengthening is also energetically being supported by the divine feminine for this masculine. that her energy is somehow lending him the strength and support that he needs to strengthen his root chakra and to make those movements in the 3D physical, to move forward in those positive, constructive ways. This divine feminine's energy is really, really present with him at every stage of his life and is what gives him hope for the future in every sense of the word. Is there anything else, Spirit, that I can channel here? I do feel this deck kind of going silent. Yeah, hostility. So this divine masculine is very much feeling a sense of hostility toward himself. You know, for every decision that he made in the past that led to the physical disconnect, he's really feeling like a jerk, for lack of a better way to say it. Like, you know, he's constantly questioning within his own mind, like, why on earth would she want me back after everything that I've done? Like, I cannot even look myself in the eye. Why would she take me back? And plus, he really, you know, holds this feminine in a very high esteem. So he's thinking that anybody else could offer you something so much better than what I can offer you. What do I have to bring to the table that would make you want me anyways? And especially after what I've done to you, like, what am I thinking? You know, like, why would you want me? I know my happiness lies with you. I know that I'll never be happy without you, and I don't even want to imagine my life without you. It terrifies me to think of that, but at the same time, like, how do I face you? That is the energy that I'm really picking up on here, very, very strongly, very, very significantly. So this is all part of the healing journey for these counterparts. I do feel, as I'm tapping into the divine feminine energy here, that she is kind of getting impatient with this waiting game, because I feel like, you know, because this connection is so heavily mirrored, that she can feel the intensity of her masculine's desire to communicate with her. He can feel, or she can feel, the speed at which he wants to come in with communication, with an offer, with an apology, with something. And at the same time, then she's not seeing it right now in the 3D physical, and this is really frustrating for her. And I feel like this feminine probably has sought out, you know, readings or guidance or something about, gosh, when can I expect this communication? Because I feel it, it's coming, and then I don't see it. Like, you know, what is going on here? It's like kind of driving her crazy. And I feel like this divine masculine is halfway through his journey. I'm really just being intuitively drawn to the fact that this person on this bridge on the card is really like right in the middle of the bridge. She's not at the beginning, she's not at the end, she's like right at the middle of it. So she has made a lot of progress, but she still has a little ways to go. And maybe that's why the fall season was really standing out to me too. And if you notice, in this card, there's also like fall leaves and such that was standing out to me. The color of the root chakra is like, you know, kind of like those fiery fall leaf colors. So definitely Libra season and the fall season is standing out to me quite a bit for this connection. So if you are resonating with this reading, of course, guys, I don't want you guys to be so hung up on timelines, because energy and time are both fluid. People have free will. You know, today energy can look one way, tomorrow it can look another way. And so I really don't want any of you to get hung up on timelines, but do remember that these are significant times and seasons for the connection, but don't hold on to the expectation of what you think is going to happen, because sometimes growth happens on that 5D level and then it trickles down to the 3D, right? But either way, transformation, metamorphosis, like those butterflies in a cocoon we were talking about, all of these things do happen, and they're continuing to happen. This is definitely a true twin flame connection that I am tapping into. I can feel it energetically, but at the same time, it's like the energy of this divine masculine fluctuates so much that it's really, really difficult in this particular specific scenario to really decipher what the timeline would even look like here for any kind of movement. And I just heard Spirit say divine timing, so that's also another factor, because sometimes Spirit doesn't want to reveal those things, right? The universe is either teaching us patience, or it's teaching us some other lesson that we have to learn, some other soul growth lesson. So timing is not always revealed, every detail is not always revealed. So learning to stay grounded through the unknown is what I think the biggest lesson is here, that Spirit, the universe, your guides, your angels, God is trying to teach us. Next, we have the 3 card, 333, for being brought back onto the right path, right? And how synchronistic after this journey card, which is the number 2 card, the number for alignment. We have blossoming abundance here. This is like wishes becoming manifest. It's not just like 5D level granted at this point. It's becoming manifest in the physical 3D. Like, that is what I associate this blossoming abundance card with. So if you can see these rays of light that are like trying to shine through these thickets up here, it's really hard for that light to get through initially, but it does, right? Like, you can see these rays down here, the light does make it through. So I think that's being, you know, very symbolic of what's going on in this connection with the frustration we just spoke on for the divine feminine, and all of that, like not being able to see movement in the physical 3D when you feel it, like, you know, you feel it coming, but then you don't see it. So this divine feminine is really just being guided toward further ascension and patience with her divine masculine, because I do sense that this masculine is really juggling within himself to try and find the right words to say to his feminine so he does not mess this connection up again, you know. And that's literally what I heard, is I don't want to mess this up again. So it's better for this divine feminine to stay patient and wait for her masculine to be ready and reach out, because if he reaches out to her before that, this connection is not going to be balanced. It will not be balanced one bit. And what did I say, guys? This is a true twin flame connection. The Magician and the Mirror card is very heavily associated with the divine masculine and feminine energies coming into balance within a twin flame connection. And that's exactly what I was just speaking on when this card popped out, that it's going to just cause more frustration and separation if this divine masculine speaks up now when he's not fully ready and he's not fully balanced. So this is his time. This is his journey toward coming into balance, right? So definitely it's going to be worth the wait, divine feminine. There will be communication. I do feel that with a lot of certainty. I definitely feel that with heavy certainty, that there will be communication. It's just probably not going to be within the timelines that you are demanding, you know, from your masculine's higher self. So stay patient, stay grounded. It is coming, but believe me, you'll be thankful that it didn't come in your timing when it's not in balance, right? So here we have the Angel of Strength, and I just heard Spirit say tap into your inner strength. So you're really being guided to do exactly that. Find your inner strength within yourself, tap into it, and utilize it at this time, because I do sense that you are going to feel quite a bit of frustration here as you wait. But the waiting is really for your own good, in your best interest. So let's see here. What else do we need to know? It's time to release negativity. Yeah. So this is very, very synchronistic with everything we just spoke on, that those frustration emotions, can be really hard to deal with because the twin flame connection in itself is so intense. Like, there's just no questioning the degree of intensity that this connection carries with it. So, really keeping yourself grounded and not allowing yourself to go down that negative thinking spiral, rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it, is really going to help you here. That's really what you need. Don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. So, this message is also for a select few people. Use your intuition to know if it resonates for you or not. There might be some divine feminines in the collective who really want their masculine to feel the pain that they went through. And I sense there's some like planning of, I'm going to be cold, or I'm going to behave a certain way, or, receive him a certain way to make him feel that, I'm harboring some form of resentment against the treatment he gave me, or that I'm hurt by what he did, like they're wanting to make it known. So I'm just hearing use discernment with that, because when your healed divine masculine does come back, that could really be damaging for him emotionally as well as for the connection. So if you are to the point where you have forgiven your masculine and you're just wanting to do that to make him feel a certain way about what he did in the past, like, maybe it'll give you some closure, or maybe it'll just make you happy that he was given that relatable energy by you. You are being guided to use discernment before you take that kind of action or make that kind of choice, because for those whose masculines are truly coming back healed and humbled, that will be, it will give rise to another difficult situation that might induce another unneeded separation, possibly. So that is the guidance here, you guys. And if you find yourself, struggling with these emotions, there is something to be said about getting into alignment with what it is that you're actually wanting to manifest, what it is that you're trying to manifest, rather than being stuck in low vibrational states that, keep you rooted in patterns, behaviors, mindsets that no longer serve you. If you feel that you could use some tools for alignment on your journey, I have created a twin flame manifestation affirmations document that you can purchase from me from my Instagram. I will leave my Instagram handle in the video description box here. Many people have already purchased it, and so many people are already seeing amazing results with it in terms of their alignment, in terms of their healing and ascension process, and many even in terms of actual manifestation of things in the physical 3D reality. So when you visit my Instagram, go to my profile and click on the highlight titled Affirmations. And from there, you can see reviews from all of my clients who have purchased this. They have been in use for almost a decade, like over 8 years. I've been using this with my live coaching clients, and now I've opened it up to the public through my Instagram to be purchased from me personally. The price up until April 7th, so literally another 2 days, it's going to be $55, which was my introductory price for Instagram. And after April 7th, it is going to go back up to the normal price that everybody was paying, which is $150. So if you are interested in this, I do highly recommend it. There are many reviews available on my profile for you to see as well. There are reviews from my past coaching clients and my more recent Instagram clients, and you can see all of those. So all you would have to do is direct message me a screenshot of your proof of payment of $55 up until April 7th, and tell me the email that you want me to send the document to, and I will send it to you that way. I use PayPal and Cash App. My PayPal link is in my bio, as well as my Cash App ID. If you do use PayPal, though, my request is to please send as friends and family, otherwise the payment goes into pending. And that also allows me to get the full amount. So if you use PayPal, please do send it as friends and family. And I also have Cash App if that's preferable or easier for you. So like I said, up until April 7th, it's $55, and after that, it's going back up to $150, and I will not ever put the price down this low again. So I would definitely highly recommend that you take advantage of that tool. It's very, very comprehensive. It has over 100 affirmations, and the PDF itself is almost like a little booklet. It has mentoring tips, coaching tips in there that I gave my clients. It has the methodology for using these affirmations to see the most effectiveness for you. And it pretty much covers all areas of life, like abundance, self-concept, love, manifesting your twin flame, career, all of those things that you can imagine. So it's not just love related, it is pretty all encompassing. So I will leave my Instagram ID in my bio for those who are interested. I do highly recommend that you stop by and grab your copy while the price is still this low. So that is what the energy of this connection looks like, you guys. And it's pretty intense. It is definitely an intense connection. It's an intense time. And especially with this, I just heard Spirit say self-mortification, that this divine masculine is putting himself through, because of the fact that this connection is mirrored, it is affecting both counterparts significantly. So that was it for the energy check-in. I will channel now some messages, some higher self-love messages from the masculine to the feminine using my Eternal Messages deck, and then from the feminine to the masculine using my Rumi Oracle, and we'll close out this reading. So, Spirit, can I get some messages from the divine masculine for his feminine, whose energy I tapped into right now for this reading? I'm feeling the consequences of my actions. Yes, definitely we spoke on that. I've been receiving your telepathic messages, exactly like we said. This connection is mirrored. This divine masculine can also feel his divine feminine's impatience with him as he is taking his time to make his approach. I have a lot of gratitude for you. How synchronistic with the appreciation card that had come out from the Energy Oracles deck. That yes, this divine masculine is truly heavily realizing that his memories with the divine feminine is the only thing that really give him any form of mental peace at this time. And I truly do feel it has been that way for quite some time for this masculine. But it's a beautiful realization that he's having, you guys, and it's all part of the growth and ascension process. You know, like I always say that medicine doesn't taste good and healing doesn't always come in our favorite flavors. But if you take medication as it's meant to be taken, it can definitely help you feel a whole lot better here. So let's see, the lion and the deer. For some reason, this card is calling out to me. So we'll see. And this is the number 22 card. And for those of you who've been following me, you know that 222 is an I love you, and a higher self I love you from your twin flame. So this has got to be a very beautiful message that's wanting to come through here. The lion and the deer. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly toward heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair, in yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. Rumi. This is extremely synchronistic, you guys. I really do have goosebumps after reading that poem, because this is exactly what the divine feminine, her higher self, is guiding her divine masculine toward, is going within himself to forgive himself, realize that he is the lion and he's also the deer, that yes, he caused hurt, he also got hurt, you know, that he gave up his feminine, but when he did that, he also gave up his own happiness. That it's, you know, the pain is being felt equally on both ends, and so a very significant, like, large degree of self-forgiveness is also needed here in order to move forward. You know, a realignment of your vibration is needed here to be able to move forward and to be able to see some positive manifestations in the 3D physical reality. So I really hope that this reading reaches those for whom it contains a message. I know this was a pretty hyper-specific reading. If you do want me to channel more hyper-specific messages for you and your situation, I do highly recommend that you subscribe to my channel and like my videos. By taking these two actions, you are energetically signaling your presence to me, and I'm able to pick up on your energy more clearly. And you are also signaling to Spirit that you're open, willing, and ready to receive the messages or guidance that may come through from here. So I do encourage that if you would like that for yourself and your situation. And also on my Instagram, I do run pretty much daily mini reading specials. So if you would like to experience a mini personal reading from me, depending on what I'm offering that day, check out my profile, check out my stories, and if there's anything that catches your attention, feel free to book with me. You will get your reading within the day if it is listed as a special reading for that day. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Welcome to anyone who may be new here. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your night, and I'll talk to you again in the next reading video. Good night, guys.